Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cash back. Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of season 2 here at Sunderland. After what was probably our most inconsistent episode yesterday, we find ourselves in arguably the best position we've found ourselves in at any point in the save. We're clear by a way at the top of the League One table so far this season, with Charlton at home to start things off, which of course we'll simulate. Lyndon Gut is back in the starting lineup as well, which is also great news. They're not in the best of form here at Charlton, so I'd like to think this should be a pretty straightforward victory. Maguire is currently the league's top goal scorer. Jamal Lowe is the league's third top goal scorer. So having a great goal scoring season from both of our strikers, who have both been on the score sheet here in the opening hour of this game against Charlton. It'll be a straightforward victory. We're averaging about 3 goals a game so far this season. So there's been a marked improvement over season 1 with regards to the quality of the side. Whether we'll be able to bring this sort of form up into the Championship next season, I doubt. But I would like to think that we could potentially challenge for playoffs next year in the Championship with a couple of the right additions in the right positions next season. We're still not the strongest side for the Championship by any stretch. Mid-70s, low to mid-70s everywhere other than Ravel Morrison, who's 78. Only Bettinelli is 75 or higher outside of that. So there's still plenty of work to be done with regards to the growth of the team. We are going to simulate this first FA Cup round game against Crawley. I would like to think that we'll get victory in this one, and then we can concentrate on the league and then play the second round of the FA Cup at the end of the month before, of course, hopefully then moving into the third round to play hopefully a Premier League team in the third round at the beginning of January. Obviously, we've played a Premier League side already this season, that being Everton in the Carabao Cup, and lost, but gave a good account of ourselves. So I'm relatively pleased with how things went in the game against Everton. We get a draw there against Crawley, so we'll be forced into a replay, frustratingly. But at least that replay will now be at home, meaning that we stand a better chance in a simulated game of getting a victory from it. We trained Jack Clark last time round, so we'll move back to Drew Yearwood here and continue to train him. And indeed, he goes up to 71 rated now as well. Into the starting lineup, Drew Yearwood this season, and impressing. Certainly his short passing could be slightly more accurate at times, but that's still in development. And basically everybody in this squad is still quote-unquote in development with regards to how they're growing. No one's really reached their max potential yet. So I'm hoping that the side can continue to grow for the next couple of seasons, and perhaps some of these players will be with us into the Premier League and in fact still playing regularly for us in the Premier League. We'll have to wait and see, but I'd like to still have some of the core players that are with us now still be core players when we reach the top flight. Obviously, if we're to then get to the top end of the top flight and into the European spots and then challenge in Europe, we are going to need to either move those players on or have them fall into a secondary role as we look to improve into players that are low 80s, mid 80s, high 80s rather than the same but 70s. But the side as it is should grow into a team that can challenge to get us into the Premier League. So fingers crossed we can continue to do that. Which Drew Yearwood we trained last time, and we shall train who's next. It's Watson and Watson up next to be trained. And Watson goes up a rating. It's the striker this time. Although George Harrison has been the striker that we've leaned towards of the youngsters that we've had so far come up to the starting squad. And to be fair, he's been pretty decent, George Harrison, when he's played. A couple of goals for him. We'll simulate this one against Crawley as well. Risk of losing 5 players, that's something I need to keep an eye on as well. Watmore I want to keep. James I want to keep. Baldwin and Flanagan I also want to keep. So it's just McLaughlin we're willing to let go. I tried to sell him. To be fair, he might be able to sign a pre-contract for someone in the upcoming January window. I might actually try and get him to sign a contract now so that we can then sell him on in the January transfer window and actually get more money for him. Excuse me, Moraes, please no. Thank you, Mr. Maguire, from the spot in the 40th minute. And then subsequently, we're at home, so we should get victory here. Please, if you don't mind, 20 minutes to go. Where's the second goal, lads? Crawley winner incoming. Into extra time. 105th minute, second half of extra time. Hello, Sunderland Football Club, through on penalties. Well, that was more difficult than it should have been. A lot more difficult than it should have been. But we are through, and that's the most important thing. Really wanted that to be more straightforward than that. You're a no. You're a no. You're a no. You're a no. And you're a no. Okay, so looking for... I think we were looking for technically gifted players, weren't we? With regards to the youth... Or playmakers. We're looking for playmakers. Well, clearly not going to get many or any with the way that things are going so far with the scout reports from England. We have Plymouth next, and this will be the first play game, as I believe this is an away one. Indeed it is, so we shall play this. Jack Clark says he's not feeling up to the game right now and wants a rest. And I'm happy to give him that rest here against Plymouth. We have Sam Nicholson that can come in and take part. To be fair, a number of players don't look like they're anywhere near full enough fitness to take part here. We'll put Flanagan in there. We'll throw... Actually, no, we'll throw Harrison into the starting lineup. And we'll throw Jamal Lowe out wide. And Jimmy Dunn can come out as well for Bennett. Let's give Bennett a go. First time we've used him, it will be. So let's see what he can do. And we'll throw Ratio. No max power in there for Ravel Morrison. Right, Plymouth away to try and improve our lead at the top of the League One table. Corner for Plymouth after 3 minutes. Graham Carey to deliver from that far side. Decent delivery as well. And Riley with a header, and we are 1-0 down inside 4 minutes. What a leap and header from Riley. Walsall did the same very early on against us yesterday. And we ended up having to come back in dramatic fashion from a 2-0 deficit to get a point. Plymouth trying to do the same, at least with regards getting the 2-0 lead. But what a stupendous header. Challenging with two defenders around him, he's still able to leap, win the aerial encounter and guide that header over the keeper into the far side of the net. That's one of the best headers we've conceded ever. Plymouth 1, Sunderland 0, not the start we were after. It's Taylor down the right for Plymouth. Nice strength by Flanagan. But a misplaced pass. And now we're in trouble again. Strike. Oh, that should never go in. That should never go in. Can't believe it. He's hit it well enough there, but
didn't he just? He's a long way out. The keeper had absolutely no chance. That is what the fans love.
Hopefully that sort of thing isn't a thing in FIFA 20. These first time hits from the AI are just too much. Nicholson with the throw. Finds Maguire well. It was meant for Yearwood, but never mind, it still found a teammate. Maguire's there in a little bit of space, actually, and we'll look for George Harrison. Hit that early on his right foot, struck it well enough, but straight out the keeper, Letheran. It's cleared away by the Plymouth backline. Supports with there. Nicholson with the delivery. It's deflected. It wouldn't let me change to George Harrison in the middle to try and get on the end of that. He was perfectly placed to just stick his neck out, try and get on the end and nod that home, but unfortunately not able to do so, nor is he able to hold the ball up there. Frustrating is the opening for 25 minutes here against Plymouth. It's the only word that comes to mind, really. Sangster back to Ness. It's Joe Riley, scorer of their first goal. Lameras, a player we actually looked at previously to potentially sign in this season, but we went with Sam Nicholson instead, who starts for us in this game. Here's Drew Yearwood. Movement on the far side from Jamal Lowe. He's played in well, takes in his stride superbly, but Smith-Brown sticks with me. Can't do it for the entire run. Here is Sam Nicholson now. We mentioned him in commentary a moment ago. Goes down. No foul given. Superbly timed challenge from the Plymouth defender. Yearwood through the gap. Oh, come on, Drew. We mentioned his passing not quite being up to scratch earlier on in the episode as well. And another example of it there. A simple pass through the gap. And we have ourselves a chance on goal. Intercepting a full pass of theirs. This time Drew Yearwood. And again, just not accurate enough with the passing at the moment. When the chances do come, we're not accurate with the finishes either. Kicking them straight at the goalkeeper. 5 minutes to go till half time. We're going to need a comeback of Walsall proportions if we're to get ourselves in. It's going to need to be more than Walsall proportions. We're 3-0 down. How has the man at the back post not done anything with that then? Questions being asked of this back line. What is he doing? His attempted clearance is just to try and take a first touch there. Inexplicable. Mistakes all round at the back for us today. 3-0 down here. Ryan Taylor with his 4th goal of the season. We won't be coming back this time. Low. Down the line to Sam Nicholson. Lovely turn inside. Got support here. Harrison with the turn. There's Maguire. He need a turn of his own perhaps in a moment. Looking for Harrison again. Oh, my first time shots are terrible apparently. But there's fly top bins from 30 yards. Cheers game. Still 3-0 down as we approach half time. And Christ knows what the scoreline will be at the end. It may even be 4-0 before half time. Ramirez could cross the ball in here. Does so. It's a decent delivery. Bettinelli punches. He's waiting for a first time volley. Thankfully, the next first time shot is saved by Bettinelli. And that will be half time. Plymouth throw. Smith Brown's going to take a long one. Get it back there to Songo. Carey with an early delivery, but that will be dealt with by Matthews. I've had nothing in response to Plymouth in this game. Just quite simply nothing. We were in some indifferent form yesterday, as we mentioned, and it's carried over into the day, it seems. Harrison, terrible pass looking for Jamal Lowe. Forward to Carey. Can see now, judging by this performance, why the side struggled to see off Crawley over the course of 2 legs in the FA Cup and why it went to penalties at the end of the replay. I don't know whether we're having just a bit of a dip in form, it seems. People just aren't playing very well right now, and it's really, on this occasion, going to cost me the ultimate prize. The chance of an unbeaten season is going to go, and it's not even close either. Plymouth battered me here. Joel Grant's come on for Graham Carey as they make a change to try and perhaps extend our misery. They might yet. Here is Grant. Kicks it against Powell, but picks it up again. Cross blocked. No, it's going to be a goal kick. 5 to go, and there's only ever been one winner in this, and it's always been them. There's the final whistle, and my misery finally comes to an end. That is a game I want to put long behind us. Only 2 chances created all game. The unbeaten season is no more, and oh dearie me, I'm glad that's over. I think is the biggest thing I'm taking from that. Somehow the gap, although they can close it, is 14 points at the top of the table. But we have MK Dons next, and that's going to be a simulated game as well as we look to play the away games. Harrison's going to go up to 67 rated here. He's finishing very nearly 55 now, so he's growing nicely. Perhaps that's a major reason why he didn't tuck away that first time effort we had in that game there against Plymouth. It's a very busy Christmas period now, though, with a home game against MK Dons, followed by an away game against Oxford, and the next round, the FA Cup. So we've gone into the FA Cup at the 2nd round for some reason. We should have gone in the first, but why we've gone in the second, I've no idea, because that'll be the 3rd round against Bury there. We just had a lucky draw in the 3rd round. Surely we should have gone into the... I will just double check, but surely we should have gone into the FA Cup at the first round. Yeah, we've Bury away in the 3rd round. Why were we not involved in the first round at all? Round 1 of the FA Cup was apparently only 8 games. I guess perhaps it's because there are no non-league sides to make up the numbers for the different rounds, etc. But still, come on. Okay, so MK Dons at home, followed by, because a similar Crawley game, because I envisaged just having another FA Cup game this month. So I may play this one against MK Dons at home, then play Oxford away and sim Wimbledon at home. In fact, that is what I'm going to go and do. Time to go and play MK Dons at home and hopefully maintain our lead at the top of the table by avoiding defeat here, which is certainly something that I really want to do after that battering against Plymouth. It's Cisse in there to Ionov. Cisse again. Here's the box. Here's Morrison around the corner to Gilby. Back to Morrison. That's just hit Colcutt. And I thought for a moment it was just going to drop for the MK Dons man there with an open goal in front of him. Thankfully, Max Lowe got back there to get a challenge in. It was not the start we would have needed here. On the back of a terrible performance against Plymouth, to concede early on again would really have knocked the confidence yet further. Still could yet concede in the opening 10 minutes. Yonov will take this corner on the far side for MK Dons. It's not the best, but still just the sheer physicality of the man underneath it, able to create the chance at the near post. But luckily for us, it was straight at the keeper's hands. Ravel Morrison will get this down the line looking for Lyndon Gooch. Barely had a part to play. In fact, didn't play actually, did he, in the last game? And moved low out wide. Pull this back to Lyndon Gooch here, and he could give us a 1-0 lead. Oh, but he's flashed it past the post. Number of first-team players back into the starting lineup here, and hopefully that, on this occasion, will mean that we will get victory. Headed by Jimmy Dunn, just to knock that down to the teammate. And ensure that we keep possession, but don't needlessly give it away further up the field by looking immediately for a forward pass. Unnecessary with the fancy flick there from Jamal Lowe, but never mind. Jack Clark will still deliver and will win the corner off Britton. Callum Britton scored against us actually in the game against MK Dons earlier in the season, but oh, Colker heads wide from a corner on this occasion. I think it was actually from a corner, wasn't it, that Callum Britton scored his goal. Wide of the target this time from our captain. Gilby. Nice little 1-2-3. Cisse, Gilby. Yanov. To Cisse again. Keith. Oh, it's beautifully weighted through the gap, and we will get rid of it. Oh, no, we won't. Yes, well, Jesus Christ. I should have just gotten rid of that when it fell cloney for me. I tried to play my way out there. And, well, why that pass went, to be fair, why the pass went where it did, I've no idea. Because it was clearly not headed towards a teammate. It's not like it was intercepted on its way towards a teammate. It was just a horribly played, or horribly aimed pass. Still haven't gotten this away. There we go. Right, counter-attack maybe. Is there time? Jamal Lowe will look to play Sean Maguire through. If he blows his half-time whistle now, I'll be furious. I'm furious. Fuck's sake. Out there nicely to Yonov. Around the corner to Britton. And into the middle, and Justin's there, thankfully. Yonov back to Cisse. Eward intercepts, and now the counter really is on. Maguire, give and go. Play over the top, and this time Maguire will have the opportunity to get in behind before the referee blows his whistle. Sean Maguire, good save by Moore. It might drop here. Oh, Ravel. What on earth was that? Still 0-0, but we're much more competitive in this game. Niki. A draw here would be... Oh, a draw here would be fine. I'd be relatively happy with a point. Just I want to avoid defeat here. I could play through Jamal Lowe, and I am going to get it out wide here left to Jack Clark. Really feel like I had the space there to truly punish them with Jamal Lowe, but Lyndon Gooch could do some punishing of his own. Hancock's with a block. Cisse going off them. I might make some changes of my own soon. Jack Clark with the delivery and headed away by Morrison. It's McGrandles that's come on for Cisse. They keep that in. I can't quite. Maybe we will make some changes now. Take Ravel Morrison off. Bring on Ratiu in his place. I don't think I'm going to make any other changes though. We'll leave it as is for now. Just though that one change in the midfield. Gooch across here to Drew Yearwood. Maguire. Yearwood went again, but McGrandles with a vital interception. And back to the keeper it goes. Half an hour to be played here, including stoppage. Still 0-0 in the fight between first and second. To Hancock's. Playing this about nicely here, MK Dons, and that stinks him beautifully. And it's a really well-worked move, and it's a brilliant goal. Alex Gilby thumps home with the first-time volley. Their number 8, with 19 minutes to go, makes it 1-0. All first-time passes, and then smash. Just sheer shot power enough to beat the keeper there. Alex Gilby's 5th goal of the season, a milestone for him. And MK Dons, whilst they might be out of the title race arguably already, certainly get themselves more in the picture than they were prior to kickoff if they're able to hold on to this 1-0 lead. Terrible pass. Sionov floated towards the back post. Justin heads away. Jamal Lowe on the counter. Away we go. Into the feet there of Maguire, and space for Jack Clark to run into, but not much stamina left for him to run into it with. Maguire, keep that away from the defenders. Finds Ratiu. Will look for Goots. Oh, it's a good drop of the shoulder. Lyndon Goots in a great position. Equalises. Lovely turn from Lyndon in the box. And that's devastating from him. Back in the starting lineup after missing a few weeks through injury, Duncan Watmore took his place. We certainly have missed him on the right-hand side of our midfield. That's a massive goal for our season as a whole. Turn inside, then just drops the shoulder and accelerates away. And that's what created the space. It's a lovely finish into the far top corner. Really pleased with that. Very influential player for us on the right-hand side, Lyndon Goots. Only his third goal of the season. Was very good for us in Season 1. Less of an overall impact this year, but the injury certainly played a part with that. Missing 2 months of the 4 months we've played so far.
Could be dangerous.
Really important goal from there, though. Lovely little jink past the defender from Harrison. They might get themselves a goal to go in front immediately. Goots will just get rid of that. Oh, Jamal Lowe does well just to nod that back to a teammate. Clark forward to Maguire. Around the corner there to Ratiu. And there's Jamal Lowe again. Maguire arriving. Dink that over to Jack Clark. And we might yet end up getting a winner in this game. Is it to be 2 late goals to win us the game? Ratiu. Oh, Maguire's pass is overhit. That will be game at 1-1. I said avoiding defeat was the most important thing. We have done that. Oh, but could we have done more in that game? Certainly, there are enough chances for either side to win the game. But a point apiece is what's happened. Bolton win 3-1 against Wimbledon. That might move them into second now, ahead of MK Dons. I'm not sure how close they were. Indeed, it has moved them up into second, ahead of MK Dons. The gap is 13 points, although we have played a game more. We'll jump in now. Oh, Ewan Kelly wants out. Okay, we shall call you up. We shall play this game against Oxford, as it's the away one of the 2 that are remaining. Ewan Kelly's the 17-year-old winger. 71 acceleration is decent, as is the agility, but the rest of his stats are pretty dead, other than the curve. But he has decent potential, so we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Perhaps we can... Well, at the beginning of the new season, we'll address the training modules, and then we can perhaps get more of these youngsters involved. But I'm going to go and rotate the majority of this team, to be fair, because of the nature of the fixture list right now. Game every 2 days for 2 games, so we're going to have to rotate quite heavily, but hopefully we've got the ability in the squad to be able to deal with it. Time will tell, though, I suppose. Right, tackled by Adam Matthews, popping up in central midfield. Sam Nicholson will look for the run of Will Grigg here and go again. Time it right. And Nicholson's in, pull it back. And Revell Morrison's there. And it's a great save by Eastwood. Top stop from the Oxford #1. That was superb and needed to be made, because that was seemingly a simple 1-0 win. 1-0 lead, sorry. And Harrison's in, but offside. Just needs to watch the line a little bit better there, the youngster. Came back from an offside position and then immediately ran offside again. See the run. James Justin at right back. It's a great run. Oh, it's a superb cross. Nicholson with the header. It's actually Will Grigg actually at the back post, but straight out the keeper. Win that, Ravel. Unfortunately not able to. Brannigan. Oh, nice ball around the corner. Luke Garbutt over the top. Now Oxford can come up the other end and have a chance of their own. White nods that across there to Abika. And the first time volley. James Henry makes it 1-0 Oxford. Please don't let those sorts of finishes be a thing on FIFA 19. They're the sort of goals that happen once a season. We've had 2 in this 1 episode. Nothing like a realistic football simulation. Yep. Realistic football simulation. There's no way that someone would even attempt that sort of shot when the ball is in that position. And the reason why is you're standing legs in the way. But it doesn't matter if the ball goes through your knee. Oxford 1, Sunderland 0. Ball forward there to Duncan Watmore. Looking for George Harrison. It's a lovely ball through. Perfectly timed. Harrison's in the box. Steps away from the defender and doesn't score. Good save by Eastwood. Cross come in here from Revell Morrison. We'll look for someone at the near post perhaps. It's around the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's headed away by a defender. Nicholson recovers possession. Also there to Max Power, who's got a bit of space on the edge of the box, but doesn't use it well enough. It's McMahon. Around the corner nicely. White Tackled by Colcutt. Try and catch him on the counter if we can. Use Sam Nicholson's pace. He's got the space to run into here. Time the right ball. Find Will Grigg. Beat the defender, who seemingly read my turn, but Duncan Watmore's in. Oh, and he smacks off the bar. How have you not buried that, Duncan? I can't believe it. That's why Lyndon Goots comes in handy. I can't believe he's not gotten that on target. How in that scenario can you hit the bar? Unbelievable. I don't feel like I put too much power on that either. 1-0 down at half-time because their man is a ghost and the ball went through him.
Isn't it, Alan, from him in the first half? Well, he played really well.
The ball over the top by Musinho, looking for Jordan Abika. Early first-time cross. There's the header from White. Oh, thought for a moment that had gone in. Side netting. Oxford very nearly getting themselves a 2-0 lead and probably the victory with it. As things stand, we do have the opportunity still to get ourselves level. And enough time to perhaps push for a win as well, if we can get that equaliser sooner rather than later. Don't want to be losing 2 games in the space of 1 episode when we've gone 20 games without a defeat. White.
Yeah, we know he's got plenty of skill,
drag back down the line there to McMahon. On inside to Henry, back to McMahon again. Deflected off Matthews, and it'll be a corner for Oxford. There's only 20 minutes to go. Still searching for that equaliser that hasn't been forthcoming so far. That's looped in. Good header by Harrison. Although it's not necessarily gone too far away. Duncan Watmore with a much better clearance. If we get to that first with Will Grigg, we can. We accelerate away from the defender that's with me. No. It's annoying. Right. They're making a substitution momentarily. Hopefully it's not one that leads to them grabbing a second goal. 15 to go now. Justin will look down the line. Why have you played that? Oh, why has that gone in? This is travelling about 4 miles an hour. I aimed that at the winger, and it's tried to play it to the centre mid. I aimed that at the guy that's here. I just tried to play it to the centre mid while I'm aiming it at the winger, and then, of course, that first time hit goes in. Oh, this has been the most FIFA episode we've had for a while. Oxford 2, Sunderland 0. We're going through some turmoil at the minute. Ratu with a through ball. Can we get one back immediately? George Harrison in the box. He's got a 5-star weak foot. I told him to shoot ages ago, and he just kept taking touches. Oh, FML are the 3 letters that come to mind. Lovely through ball. McMahon is in behind. Stoppage time here at the end of the game. Looking for a third here, Oxford. Certainly not been as embarrassing a defeat as the Plymouth one, but definitely frustrating the way that it's come about. Harrison trying his best here to just bully his way through their defensive line, but the final whistle's going to go. Never mind. Never mind. A 2-0 defeat to Oxford. We thankfully have the gap at the top of the table to allow ourselves a little bit of a fluctuation in form and still be confident enough of getting ourselves promoted. MK Dons and Bolton are still 10 or 11 points behind us with a game in hand, so there's still plenty to work with there. We'll just train Ward here, and he'll go up to 64 rated. I might adjust my training regime slightly earlier than the end of this season, or at least maybe remove players like Gooch and Ratiu. Wait and see how they grow. Did heavily rotate for that last game, so now the majority of the first team players are fit and ready to play here at home against Wimbledon, so I'd like to think that we'll get a victory in this one. The manner of some of the goals that we conceded in today's episode, questionable, I think. I had a look at a replay, but didn't commentate on it for Oxford's second, and that went through the guy's standing foot, as well as obviously the Plymouth one going through the guy's standing knee. So, not much I can do about that, really. And you saw the pass that I played and the pass that it played. A 2-0 win against Wimbledon. Huzzah! Victory. Thank you. We're allowed a little bubble in form. It's not a problem. We're allowed a little bubble in form. We've Bury away as the first game of the next episode, which we will play in the FA Cup. And then away at Scunthorpe, and Peterborough is also away, I think, at the end of the month. I'll probably play that one, depending on where the next round of the FA Cup is, if we beat Bury. so we might end up playing both cup games tomorrow. I'm not planning on doing anything in the... Actually, when are you seeing this? You're seeing this Sunday. The next episode will actually be on Tuesday. I'm away this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm home Friday and then away Saturday, Sunday. So you'll have a video Tuesday, a video Thursday, a video Saturday, and hopefully a video Sunday as well, if not Monday, just whilst I'm away. Then I'm home again properly for 2 or 3 weeks before being out of the country again. So hopefully you guys understand. I'm sure you do. That's just the way things are at the moment. But it's always the same every single summer. But we'll leave it for now. I'm thinking with my remaining transfer funds, which aren't many, I shall buy another Youth Scouts because the one we got at the minute isn't necessarily offering me the best of options, and I could perhaps do with an improvement there as well. But for now, that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any more. I'll see you next time.